One strategy that Israel is using now for grabbing Palestinian land is through outposts. We have detected 134 outposts that have been established following the issuing of the roadmap, and these outposts are still there and expanding day by day. In 2004, Israel confiscated 57,000 dunums, uprooted 115,000 trees, and demolished more than 2,800 homes. And business is as usual in 2005. Nothing has changed despite the euphoria that was created by the media about the resurrection of the Middle East peace. Israel in June 2002 began implementing the segregation plan in the West Bank, which consists either of a double-layered fence or a 8 to 9 meter concrete wall. The latest map of the fence shows, which was issued in February 2005, it shows that only 20% of the total route of the fence is on the green line. 80% goes deep inside the West Bank, shown here in blue. The red is where it is on the green line or the armistice line. So far, we have not seen except half of the extent of the segregation zone. There is another half that has not been worked out yet. In addition to this western segregation zone, there will be an eastern segregation zone that will take the Jordan Valley part and put it out of commission for the Palestinians. Sharon was asked what happened to the plan for an eastern fence in the Jordan Valley, and his reply was, I don't see a fence being built there today unless we need to. Here and there we'll block access points to the Jordan Valley. At present, all that it takes is that a military order is issued to prevent Palestinians using Route 90 and tightening the control over these checkpoints, and this area becomes inaccessible. Now, if we add the western and the eastern together, and we see the corridors that would be needed to link the two together, we can see the extent of the segregation plan, which will take almost out of commission about 45% of the West Bank. 10% will go for the western segregation zone, 27% for the eastern, 4.5% for a buffer zone from the Palestinian side only, and the corridor will take about 2.9%. So altogether, about 45% of the West Bank will be inaccessible to the Palestinians. Well, following the meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh, developments took place in the form of the redeployment from Gaza, mobility, prisoners, handover of Jericho and Tulkarem. The redeployment from Gaza has been completed, but it has not ended the occupation. We believe just the opposite. Because Israel intends to maintain control over air, sea, and Gaza's borders, the Rafah crossing has been closed since the middle of September, and until now it was open only for about 4 days together. Israel wants to build an additional electronic fence system in the outskirts between Gaza and Israel at a cost of 1.5 billion, plus a sea barrier on the Mediterranean, 950 meters inside the Mediterranean. So we will have the full range from walls, fences, sea barriers in Palestine. Well, according to Oslo, the two sides viewed the West Bank and Gaza as one single territorial unit. the integrity and status of which will be preserved during the interim period. But this is not the case. The safe passages that were stipulated in Oslo has not seen the light, and now there were talks about a railroad or a four-lane sunken highway or truck convoys. The World Bank started studies for the four-lane sunken highways, but Israel now has rescinded its approval, and the only system that we will have for the time being is truck convoys. So Gaza will become the largest prison on earth. The Rafah border crossing, Israel wants to not to be physically there, but to have it under third party, meaning the EU, with Israel having cameras and monitoring of who gets in and who gets out. The four West Bank settlements that were dismantled housed 567 settlers out of total population of settlers of 450,000. So it's a drop in the bucket. Sharon speaks in two different languages. When he talks to an Israeli reporter like this reporter from Daoud Ahronot, he said in the unilateral plan there is no Palestinian state. This situation could continue for many years. When you fence areas and communities in the West Bank, you end a lot of their dreams. My plan is tough on the Palestinians, a mortal blow. But on CNN, he speaks differently. In May 2005, Shaul Mufaz confirmed the same thing. Sharon said, only an Israeli initiative will keep us from being dragged into dangerous initiatives like the Geneva and Saudi initiatives. This was the Geneva Initiative map. The blue areas are areas where the Palestinians conceded to Israel, while the green areas are areas which Israel conceded to the Palestinians, and they were 1-to-1. Almost we get back to the formula of the return to the 4th of June borders with minor modifications. The Geneva Initiative has put an end to this plan.